Good morning to all. This is Pratiksha Das Patnaik, first year PhD scholar. I would plead to announce the arrival of our guest for today's program. I request our distinct dignitaries to come upon the dais. Let's welcome them with a huge round of applause. Now I request our students to welcome the guest with bouquet and chant the Ganesh Vandana to begin with the event. Thank you, girls, for this lovely song. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome the guests who are present here to attend the 103rd BRNS-IANCAS National Workshop on Nuclear Science and Applications of Radioisotopes. On behalf of NIT Rourkela and Department of Chemistry, I offer my regards to each of you for joining us. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming over for this workshop. Light is a symbol of brightness, as sunlight expels the darkness and brings in our life prosperity and happiness. I would request the dignitaries to inaugurate this occasion by lighting the lamp.
ज्योति नमोस्तुते शुभं करतु कल्याणं आरोग्यं सुखसम्पदः द्वेषबुद्धिविनाशाय आत्मज्योति नमोस्तुते आत्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय ब्रह्मज्योति नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मज्योति प्रदीप्ताय गुरुर्ज्योति नमोस्तुते गुरुर्ज्योति नमोस्तुते गुरुर्ज्योति नमोस्तुते.
May the divine power bless us all. Now I invite our convener, Professor Rupam Dinta, to give the welcoming address.
Good morning to one and all present in this auditorium and also in online mode. On behalf of the organizing team, myself, two of my colleagues, Dr. Sabita Patel and Dr. Saroj L. Samal, it is my immense pleasure to invite the guest of honor of today's event, Dr. A.K. Nayak, Head Reactor Technology Divisions, BARC Mumbai, our beloved Director, Professor K. Umamoheshwar Rao, Dr. Sudipta Chakraborty, Head Pharmaceutical Divisions, BARC, and also the coordinator from BARC of this event, my HOD Professor Das, and my colleagues, Professor Patel, also the other dignitaries present of dais, participants from other institutions, my fellow faculty colleagues from across the department of our institute, staff members, and lastly, my dear students, to the workshop organized by the Department of Chemistry, joint workshop, the INCAS 103rd BRNS-IANCAS National Workshop on Nuclear Science and Applications of Radioisotopes, NSAR 2022. So I am also happy to announce, so we are conducting this joint event in the banner of Diamond Jubilee celebration of our institute. So we have celebrated our Diamond Jubilee of this institute last year. So this is the extended year where we are conducting events. And also happy to announce this may be the first physical board event what we are conducting after almost after 2 years in this institute. Though we have conducted several webinar and other virtual programs, we know. So we have suffered all the community as well as the researchers and all community throughout the world. We passed with a very hard situations of pandemic COVID-19, but we are happy. So we are all together here join in this workshop. So regarding the workshop, the technical part, so would be like highlighted by my co-host, Dr. Chakraborty, the objective of this workshop. So with a few words, through the workshop, we intend to showcase the beneficial aspects of nuclear energy and applications of radioisotopes in science, technology, agriculture, healthcare, among the academic communities by providing a forum for mutual interaction among faculty members, researchers, students from various academic institutions, and also research organizations. It is my sincere belief that this workshop will help the research students gain knowledge and training in interdisciplinary and current research topics. So as a host of this workshop in our department, here is a brief summary what we are going to have in next 5 days. So we will have keynote lecture immediately after this inauguration session and a break of high tea by our distinguished speaker, Dr. A.K. Nayak. Dr. Nayak is a graduate in mechanical engineering from NIT Rourkela, alumni of Regional Engineering College, the then Rourkela, 1987 batch. So I would request all the audience to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Nayak today. It is just his homecoming. So not only that, so we will be having 4 different lectures in this workshop in different research areas by the eminent scientists from the different research divisions of the BARC Mumbai and also other allied DAE institutions in nearby cities, Calcutta and Bhubaneswar. And out of these 14 lectures, so we will have 11 would be in the offline mode and 3 would be in the online mode. So not only the lecture on this topic of nuclear science and applications of radioisotopes, so we would be happy to listen. One of the speakers will highlight the opportunity how to get BRNS funding by the research community. So not only the lectures and other programs, so we have also, as a part of these workshops, we are associated with some maybe 3 different laboratory sessions in our chemistry department laboratory, where the experts will give the training to the participants, the use of radio detectors. And also in this context, I am happy to announce that as a part of this joint program, BARC Mumbai is going to donate 2 instruments to our department. One is sodium iodide detector and one is GM counter. So at the very end, I hope all of you enjoy these 5 days technical sessions, lectures, and the laboratory sessions. And at the end of this workshop, I hope we all will be knowledgeable in this area of nuclear science and applications of radioisotopes. So thank you all again. Stay healthy, stay safe.
Thank you, sir, for your welcoming words. Now I invite our Dr. Sudipta Chakrabarti, Coordinator BARC, to speak a few words of wisdom regarding the workshop.
Respected Professor Rao, Director NIT Rourkela, Professor Naik, Head Reactor Technology Division BARC, and today's guest of honor, Professor Das, Head Department of Chemistry NIT Rourkela, Professor Dinda, Convener of this program, Professor Patel and Professor Samal, the co-conveners of this workshop, distinguished faculties, my dear participants, my colleagues from BRC, ladies and gentlemen. This is my privilege to welcome you all in this particular national workshop named as NSAR 2022, National Seminar on Nuclear Science and Application of Radioisotopes. This is jointly organized by Indian Association of Nuclear Chemists and Allied Scientists and Department of Chemistry of NIT Rourkela. Now to begin with, I will highlight a few words on this particular organization called Indian Association of Nuclear Chemists and Allied Scientists, in short known as IONCAS. This professional body was founded in 1981 with an objective of popularizing nuclear science and technology among scientific community all over the country. Under its mandate, IONCAS continuously promoting the subject of nuclear and radiochemistry, use of radioisotopes and radiation technology in education, research, medical science, agriculture, industry by organizing seminars, workshops, publishing periodicals and thematic bulletins. With around 2,000 life members from all over the country, IONCAS has become one of the popular platforms devoted in popularizing the subject of nuclear and radiochemistry across the country. Through its various outreach programs, IONCAS endeavors to motivate the researchers and scientists to achieve excellence in the field of nuclear sciences. As a part of its outreach programs, IONCAS conducts various workshops in universities, institutes, schools and colleges. These workshops are playing a pivotal role in motivating young researchers and young faculties and encouraging the students to take up their career in the subject of radiochemistry, various other branches of nuclear science and applications of radioisotope. Now we are very pleased to organize the 103rd edition of the National Workshop of IONCAS on nuclear science and application of radioisotopes in the Department of Chemistry of this prestigious academic institution. Personally, I feel privileged to get an opportunity from IONCAS to serve as the workshop coordinator. As Professor Dinda has already mentioned, in this workshop, we are going to have 14 lectures and one keynote address from the experts of BARC on various topics covering the basic principles of radioactive decay, radiation measurement, nuclear reactor technology, safe handling of radiation, to the exciting applied fields of radioisotope and radiation technology in human healthcare, agriculture, industry and other societal applications. Apart from these lectures, we are going to have practical sessions where the participants will get opportunity to get hand-on experience on radiation detectors and the principles of measurement of radioactivity. I hope the entire program will be very useful, informative, and most importantly, enjoyable to all the participants. Before I conclude, it is my noble duty to express my sincere thanks to Professor S. Kannan, Director Radiochemistry and Isotope Group, BARC, for his excellent support and motivation to our entire team of IONCAS. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to members of my team and other speakers from BARC for their valuable contribution they are going to make in this program. I thank and congratulate the local organizing committee led by Professor Rupam Dinda for his excellent organization. So far, I have really very much enjoyed working with him and his team. Namaskar and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and motivating words. Now I request our HOD, Professor Priyabhrata Das, to deliver today's gathering.
A very good morning to all of you present here. Respected Director Sir, Professor K. Uma Maheshwar Rao. Respected Guest of Honor, Professor A.K. Naik. Respected Coordinator from BRC, Dr. Sudipta Chakraborty. The conveners, Professor Rupam Dinda, Professor Sabita Patel, Professor Saroj Samal. The respected guests from the BRC, my faculty colleagues, the student participant from nearby Rourkela, another state, and my dear students. First of all, from the Department of Chemistry, I would like to welcome all the dignitaries to this workshop. We feel privileged to have you all here. As Professor Dinda told, this is the first offline workshop after 2.5 years. So it's always, we feel very happy to see the participant in front of us rather than in the virtual world. So it's a good, experience for us, and I think these 5 days we'll learn a lot from this. Before I go ahead, from my core of my heart, I would like to thank our director, sir. Despite his, time constraint, all this, he came this event. So I would like to, sir, from my heart and from the department, I would like to thank you, sir, for attending this event. Also, the experts, they have traveled from Mumbai. So from the department side, I convey my gratitude to them for attending this event, and I hope this will be a very successful event in these 5 days. Regarding the Department of Chemistry, I would like to tell a few things. We have been constantly doing such workshops, seminars, and in this pandemic time, we have done few webinars also. But it is always, as I told, an offline event than an online event. So it's a good that we are back to the offline mode. Our department, since its inception in 1961, has grown to a bigger department. Currently, we have 22 faculties and 120 regular PhD students, which is highest in the institute. Our faculties are believing, and they believe in high-end research and innovation. Currently, if you see, I am giving the last 3-year data. When I say research innovation, the 3 parameters comes to my mind, and I think everybody's mind: research publications, patents, and sponsored projects. If you see the research publications in the last 3 years, I think this is the Web of Science data. We published around 255 publications in the last 3 years. So that comes around 85 per year. If you see, we have 22 faculties. Per faculty, it comes around 4 plus, which is itself is a remarkable number. And if you see the quality of the paper, we have been able to publish in all the reputed journals like American Chemical Society, RSC, LCBR, Wiley, Springer, having impact factor. If I was going through the data, in fact, we have around 15 plus publication above 10 impact factor in the last 3 years. So, and if you see above 4 impact factor, we have around 96 in the last 3 years, which is itself is a remarkable achievement for a department like us. In terms of sponsored projects, I think the last 3 years we have given the maximum sponsored project to the institute in the number of around 40 in the last 3 years, a total value of 11.5 CR. In terms of patents, I think Department of Chemistry is the first department who gave the patent to NIT Rourkela, sir. Until today, we have 5 granted and 2 filed Indian patents in the name of our Department of Chemistry at NIT Rourkela. So we are constantly working to improve this number, sir. And regarding this BRNS, sir, our department, in the last, 10 years, we have minimum 15 sponsored projects from BRNS, sir. So it tells that our faculties are constantly working to get high-value projects as well as publishing high-end publication in reputed journals. With this, I welcome again all the participants to this workshop. I think you will all have a nice time in this beautiful campus. NIT Rourkela has a very green campus. You will have a nice stay here. You will really enjoy this. And I would like to congratulate the conveners for arranging such a workshop in this time. And they have taken a lot of pain. So thank you, conveners, for arranging such a nice workshop. Finally, I would like to conclude that I wish all the best to this workshop. And I guess because when I say nuclear science for a general public, it's still a taboo word, right? People believe that something nuclear plant is setting up in India, any part, people are scared. In general public, so this association, I think they are doing a really good effort in making this nuclear science popularized among our community, right? I was discussing one of our scientists yesterday. There are multiple applications of nuclear science. I think it's the vast potential to have energy. If you see the developed countries like Japan and Canada, maximum part of their energy comes from the nuclear energy, right? And then radioisotope, he was giving one classic example. Your A4 size paper, how you are counting. You have hundreds of packets coming. So there is a radioisotope phenomena which is involved to count this, whether 500s are there in the A4 size packet or not. So the number is, endless. You can think of, and I think in this 5-day workshop, our experts will deliver those, how we can use these radioisotopes for multiple applications. So I wish all the best to this workshop. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Your words were really encouraging. Now I request our Honorable Director, Professor K. Umameshwar Rao, to address the gathering.
The most distinguished guest of honor, Dr. A.K. Nayak, Head RTD BARC, and the distinguished speaker or coordinator of from BARC, Dr. Sudipta Chakravarti, and the coordinator of this program, Professor Dinda, and co-convener, Head of the Department Chemistry, Professor Das, faculty members of the chemistry, and the deans of NIT Rourkela, registrar, Professor Rohan Dinda, and other my dear faculty members, and my dearest students. At the very outset, I seek your pardon for keeping you waiting because I was preoccupied and I was in the hospital with my wife, and so I got really held up there. And I'm extremely sorry for keeping you waiting. And right, I would have really requested Professor Dinda to carry on, but then they had the patience to wait for me. But time is really one thing which we have got to respect. Right? So no, I'm really sorry, sir. Sorry for both of you. And as far as this particular workshop is concerned, nuclear science and applications of radioisotopes. Has already been discussed or stated in their inaugural address. I'm a odd element here because I'm not, I don't belong to the field of chemistry, but I have some association with nuclear deposits, right? Because I was for 2 long terms, I was the independent director of Department of Atomic Energy, dealing with the uranium, mining of uranium from UCIL. And so I have a long association with the BRC. Right, as far as the word nuclear or the radioactive elements is concerned, there is no exaggeration. And there must be some truth also in that one, that it gives some sort of a shiver in the spine. And we had COVID also the same thing. COVID became such a shiver in the spine for the entire community across the globe. Is that the first COVID patient, which when we really noticed, that day also I was with my wife in the hospital, and then there was an announcement, right, over the microphone that there is one COVID patient. Then you just have to really see the mayhem that has happened in front of the hospital, as if a wild, what is that called, the lion has come out of the bone, and then just people were helter-skelter and then running here and there. It's nothing but a small boy in 20s, right? He is found, detected positive. That was the first experience of first wave COVID. I don't think radioactive elements are as dangerous as this virus. And it is a friendly element, right? You don't have to get scared about that one. Often what happens is that a common man doesn't really have the knowledge of what exactly is this radioactive element. But then it is the projection of the social media, right? Because TRP rating, unfortunately or fortunately, what really happens is that positive news does not really carry weight. It's always the negative news. It carries a lot of weight in the media and everywhere. So now, somehow, my first experience at UCIL as the independent director was that, you know that I think how many of the chemists here, you know what exactly is the ore of uranium and what is the percentage of uranium present in that uranite. Anybody here from the audience, what is the percentage of uranium in the ore, uranium ore? 0.04, 0.05, 0.06, even to the extent that 0.02 is also mined in our country. This is the tragedy. This is the truth which none of us know. France mines the ore which has 8%, sir. Australia also about that one. Canada also that one. And then they have the percentages up to 10. And then there are some places, some deposits in Canada which has something around 12 to 16% of uranium. Absolutely no issues. No issues. But then when I am mining in Jadugoda area, right, 0.04, cutoff is 0.025. There is an issue. There is an issue so much so that, right, reasons apart, when you are going to the mine site or the plant is the one where you have got to do the beneficiation and then take out the yellow cake. And then the months of extraction from the earth, and then you get less than half a kilo of uranium cake, right? That is the amount of uranium that you get, and it is so valuable. It is so valuable, I think, over the days of this workshop, our guest of honor and then the speaker from the BRC, that they will explain you what are the multiple utilities of this nuclear element. Okay. So now, instead of really, the truth is that Japan, Korea, France, and then there are so many countries, I just cannot name the number of countries where the major source of power generation is the nuclear power. To the extent that even the Ukraine and then even Russian, right, they are all the experts in that one, and then even Chinese also, they are all experts. And today here, right, we are conventionally stuck with burning the carbonaceous fuels to generate power, and 70% of the power generation in the country is by burning the carbonaceous fuels. And again, the tragedy out here, I'm just trying to compare these two power generation elements. Maybe I'm taking a little longer time because it is a workshop for the young minds to know the truth. And then it is your responsibility to let everybody know what exactly is the truth. The truth is that we are not mining the percentages which are really harmful. Right? Our life around the society is having more radiation which is not from the uranium. Okay? Please ignore that one. No, ignore. Just ignore. Just ignore that one. Enjoy the sound of the call and then you forget about that one. Right? So now the question here is that 0.04% uranium to take out the yellow cake, right? Tons of the fine ground rock powder, okay? And unfortunately, that this is what we call is as a tailing or a gangue material. It has to be dumped in the tailings pond, all right? Climate out here is really very hot. It goes to really very hot temperatures up to 45, 46, even up to 48 degrees also in Jadugoda. The dust rises. All right? The dust is not containing any radioactive element. Believe me. Dust from the automobiles is more harmful. Right? The dust that you are inhaling through cigarettes is more harmful. The dust from various other sources, it is more harmful. Sitting in an AC room is more harmful than going into the mine. But the fact is that you are comfortable in an AC room, and then you are comfortable in an automobile, riding in the automobile which is using gasoline, kerosene, and then pumping out the dark suit. You are comfortable, no reaction, no social media, nothing. Right? But when you say the word uranium, whole globe reacts. Whole globe reacts in a negative way. And there is a political angle to that one. Let us not discuss about that one. So now there, what has happened is that National Geography was there in that area. So I was called there because I was the only mining expert there in that area, Uranium Corporation of India Limited. So there were some cattle grazing grass on the tailings pond. Finished. Over. It's a social issue there. Now, the company was sued. Company was sued some millions of dollars for not really barricading the tailings pond, letting the stray animals or letting the animals graze the grass on this tailings pond. Fundamentally, nobody was interested to know grass could come out on a tailings pond, which in fact, if it is really concentrated uranium or any radioactive element is there, I don't think, right, any grass or any greenery will come on the tailings pond, which is chemically treated for extraction of the uranium. Right? People are not interested. People are just only interested in the barbed wire fencing which is cut. And because there is green inside the tailings pond gets a lot of water from the mill. And so because of the conditions which are really suitable there, grass grew and then the animals were there inside, and then that became a very big issue, and then it was a fight for more than a couple of years. Right? Ultimately what happens is that you know that National Geography is not a small channel, right? And then the company has to pay through the nose the penalty for that one after some bit of negotiations. This is the issue, right? And then you go to any hospital, right? My experience in the hospitals, somehow I'm very friendly with hospitals because very often I'm going to hospitals. Either taking my mother-in-law or my mother or my father, right? My father and mother, now they are in the heavens, right, watching me, right? And my mother-in-law, and then my wife, half late for the last 8 months, she has been regularly visiting hospitals for various reasons, and then again there. These days, doctors always want to expose us to the X-rays. Right, you have a stomach ache, right, they want to take an X-ray, you have really sleepless nights, and then they want to have X-ray, and then nobody has any issue about how much you are really exposed to this particular X-rays. I think that is much more than getting into a mine or sitting on the tailings pond and then having your breakfast and tea. This is a myth the chemists please remember that uranium is a beautiful the creation of the nature. All right, I think 1 gram of uranium is equivalent to a few tons of coal as far as its energy potential is concerned. Its energy potential is concerned. The political angle is that India has the highest, of course, it's not a rich, right? Don't misquote me. We do not have the rich uranium deposits, but then we have, you can very well imagine 177 kilometers or 176 kilometers. There is one place between Bangalore and then Andhra, right? 176 or 77 kilometers strike length, straight line. It is not a zigzag line, straight line. That is a strike line, right? In surveying, what you call that is a strike line. 176 kilometers or 175 kilometers. I reduce the length also. 75 kilometers is strike length of uranium deposit in Tumalpally area, right? It was identified in early 70s, and it is getting mined now recently in the last 1 decade. It was right. So now, if India has self-sufficiency in producing uranium, which is it's a strategic mineral, right? Its applications are manifold, right? In the defense and then agriculture and the medical, and then you can name these radioisotopes are being used in various processes and then various applications. That is the application. The question is that there is some, I don't want to misquote that once, people do not want to, garibi ko bacha ke rakhna, garibi bachao. So, garibi ko bacha ke rakhenge. So, in that aspect, the developed countries, they will not allow us the free hand to do the mining of uranium, because they are of the fear that if India becomes self-sufficient of uranium, then there is absolutely no need for them to depend on the all the G9 countries for this nuclear pacts, right? This is a political angle, but with a lot of trials and errors, right? A small piece of land is really being allowed to mine. Okay, the extent of the other end of the tail end of the 175 kilometers end, that ends up in my hometown. Right, I come from Telangana, and that Telangana is, I think some of you must have really read about or remember Nagarjuna Sagar. Anyone remembers Nagarjuna Sagar? Okay, right. This is in that Nagarjuna Sagar area. It's there is Lambapur is one small settlement. In that there is another rich pocket. Rich pocket means 0.06 only. We call it as a very rich pocket. There again, we just wanted to do UCAL, BRC, and all. They wanted to do the exploratory drilling, and then overnight, believe me or not, right? Overnight, right? So now this drill was there, and then a few jeeps were there. People from all across the southern India, and then media and everybody gathered, and then they started really making slogans, and then they burnt the jeep and then your drilling machine, because it's uranium. Outcrop has the uranium deposit. It's an outcrop. Outcrop means that whatever the radiations that you are really calling, outcrop means it is exposed on the surface. Remember, right? People haven't identified that this particular rock around which you have been living is uranium. But then when you want to really drill around it, make a mechanical activity there, right, you have an issue there. So now this is again an issue which the young scientists have to know, that it is your responsibility. Not just writing papers, publications, 120 research scholars, and then first in that, first in this, but then where are we today? What is our social commitment? What is our social contribution? Has this particular word been cleared off from the clouds? Has it seen the daylight? And where are the chemists who have really gone open, written articles and paper, right, given interviews on the media and the social media also? WhatsApp is not just for fun. WhatsApp can be used for the better purpose also, like communicate about the workshop, right? Communicate about this one to let people know about that one, right? The science, only the basic science is the potential, and only from the basic science evolves the technology or engineering, and from there it evolves the technology. Right? These are all the points which you have got to really consider, and then make the science the most popular field by the youngsters to really have that one. Okay? And this is a workshop. Remember, workshop is not for having breakfast, lunch, and then dinners, and then enjoy your stay on campus. Campus is lush green, beautiful. Right? I'm not denying about that one. But then within this, you have the responsibility of learning to the point of clarity in your minds. There should not be any further confusion about nuclear, whatever. This is science and the applications of the various other radioisotopes. And then I wish you all the very best. Make use of this time. Right? You have suffered for 2.5 years about COVID. Right? This is the occasion where you are able to sit close without any fear, keeping the head held high. And some are with mask, some are not with mask, but then there is still a debate about why mask, why not mask. Right? Still we have come out of that particular cloud. Okay? Enjoy this particular proximity of living with your own fellow students, and then use this 5-day workshop. Workshop means you have got to really learn something, right? Solve something, learn something, communicate something. Thank you very much. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir, for such amazing words. Man is made by his beliefs. As he believes, so he is. Now I would invite our guest of honor, Dr. A.K. Naik, to speak few words.
Namaskar, and really very good morning to all of you. Actually, I don't feel I am a guest here because this is my hometown. I have come to my hometown. I lived here from 1983 to 87. I don't know where are the hostels today. I just had happened to visit the mechanical department. I found a lot of changes. It is not the same place where we studied and lived. So that is my first question to the organizer. They should not have made me as a guest of honor, rather probably as an attendee I would have enjoyed. Okay, that's the first part. Second part is, anyway, I'm going to speak for roughly 2 hours on many of the questions which Professor Rao has put. And really I found that he has understood and digested the Indian problems and how young people like you people should address that. I'm not going to take much of the time because already we are late. Only one thing I want to say. How many are not from NIT? Would you please raise your hands? Not from NIT. Okay, very few are here. Only one thing I want to tell all of you. You are the ambassador. Forget about scientists, technologists, or engineers, doctors. You are the ambassador. What we are going to discuss here in the next 5 days, probably most of you may not be aware, and you need to carry it because everybody cannot be accommodated here. So you need to carry it, translate it, and expand it in the fears which Professor Rao just now mentioned, that why we have not understood what is the power of uranium and utilize it, whereas our neighbors have done it successfully. Why their people are not fearful and why we are so fearful. That is one part anyway I'm going to discuss. But most important, let me thank the organizers, Professor Dinda Sahab, the head of the chemistry division, the full chemistry department who are involved, really inviting us and giving us the opportunity to speak here. And I myself feel privileged to speak in my own institute before my friends. And that's my biggest opportunity here, I will say. I request all of you to attend the next 2 hours of lectures. They're very, very interesting lectures I will be speaking. And these 2 lectures I had prepared during this lockdown. I was really overwhelmed at what Professor Rao said. COVID was one part. I had never believed this country is so backward that we cannot tackle this situation when it started. That thousands people really did not have access to medical care. And I had a small group. I divided that group into many platforms, some working for health, some for energy, some for water, some for food, and so on. Even some I had divided for education. Forget about education, I'm not talking about. If you look at each and every aspect, each one is much more, I will say that, dangerous than COVID with regard to creating crisis in this country, if not solved in next 2 to 3 decades. Let it be energy, let it be water, let it be food. And who is going to solve? No politician is going to solve. No bureaucrats is going to solve. It is only scientists, the engineers, they are going to solve this problem. They can only innovate. They can only find what is the solution. For these few things, I am thankful to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to speak. I request all of you to attend my 2 lectures. They're very, very interesting. The second lecture, I was not knowing who created the fear of radiation. You will not believe how the politicians came to create the radiophobia and spread it. And then that's how, when there is uranium, people are shaking. It is not scientists. So let me thank again, and I request all of you to attend the forthcoming 2 lectures. Thank you, madam, for introducing me.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope everyone is now in deep thought. So we are looking forward for sir's keynote address. Now I request our co-convener, Professor Sabita Patel, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pratiksha. So good morning, one and all present over here. It gives me immense pleasure to extend the vote of thanks on this occasion of 103rd BRNS-IANCAS National Workshop on Nuclear Science and Applications of Radioisotopes. So first of all, I would like to express our sincere thanks to BARC-IONCAS Mumbai for giving us this opportunity to host this joint workshop. On this occasion, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Director, Professor K. Uma Maheshwar Rao, for permitting us to conduct this workshop and giving all the facilities at NIT Rourkela. We are also thankful for his encouragement and continuous support in conducting such outreach programs to promote science and technology, and also for gracing this inaugural function in spite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. We are also thankful to our guest of honor, Dr. A.K. Nayak, Head Reactor Technology Division, BARC Mumbai, for his valuable time to grace the occasion, and also for the keynote presentation. Thank you, sir. We are also thankful to Professor Priyabrata Das, Head Department of Chemistry, NIT Rourkela, and Chairman of this workshop for his continuous effort and support to make this event successful. We are very much thankful to Dr. Sudipta Chakraborty, Coordinator from BARC, for extending constant support for this 5 days workshop. We are thankful to our faculty colleagues from Department of Chemistry and also from other departments and NIT Rourkela for their continuous support, inspiration, and presence in this function. We are thankful to our supporting staffs, students of our department for their timely help and cooperation. I would like to express special thanks to Head ANCTEL, Head Computer Center, PIC Electrical Facility, PIC Central AC, and their respective teams for providing technical support at this venue, and also for facilitating live streaming of this event at YouTube platform. We also extend our acknowledgement to our Public Relations Officer, Mrs. Archana Gupta, for our effort for wide publicity of this event, and also other media person present over here. We are thankful to PIC Guest House, PIC Transport for their kind cooperation and timely help. I extend our thankfulness to the Alumni Relation for financial contribution under the banner of Golden Jubilee celebration of NIT Rourkela. We are also thankful to our sponsors, IR Tech Kolkata, Toshbin Analytical Kolkata, San Medico Pharmaceuticals, SKP Corporate Service, SB Scientific, and Hindustan Trader Rourkela for financial support. We are also thankful to all the eminent speakers who are going to deliver lectures on various topics in these 5 days to enlighten the young minds, to introduce them to the power and beneficial aspects of nuclear energy and applications of radioisotopes in diverse fields. Last but not the least, we thank all the participants for their enthusiastic participation to meet the objective of the workshop, as without them this workshop cannot be successful. Thank you all for your kind presence.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. I hope you all find this workshop highly fruitful and beneficial for your future vendor. Now we came to an end to this inaugural function. After this, I request our participants and guests to join the high tea outdoor. We will resume here at 11:45 for the keynote address by our guest of honor, Dr. A.K. Naik. Thank you all.